Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Canadian Workshop. Today we're going to be working on this trailer. I just finished rebuilding it, and now we just need to replace the handle on it. So you can see here, I just finished rebuilding this trailer, and one of the last issues I have is this handle. You can see here the end has been rusted and corroded right off. So I 3D printed a new plastic handle for it. That's going to go on top, but I need to make a new pin to replace this one here, weld it on, and then put this handle on. So we're going to do that. I'm going to cut this off here, cut the pin off, and then bring it into the shop, and then we'll get to work on it. Okay, so we got the handle off, and to do that I just used my angle grinder with a cut-off disc, cut the end of the pin off, and we have the handle, and you can see here that it's all pitted, and yeah, we need a new one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my angle grinder with a cut-off disc again and just cut the pin off flush here to the handle, and then we'll get this handle here cleaned up, and we'll make a new pin to fit with the plastic handle. And don't forget to wear your face shield. All right, so that pin is cut off. We're just going to punch that, what's left of it out, if it wants to come out. If not, we'll drill it. There she goes. So there, we've got that pin out of there. So I'm just going to clean this up a bit to make it easier to work on, and it's easier to clean it up right now while there's no pin on it. There you go. That's about as clean as it's going to get without using any chemical strippers. I think that's pretty good. So we'll get to work on the pin. All right, so this is a 3D printed handle. If you don't have a 3D printer to make one, you can find one of these online. If I find one, I'll leave a link to one in the description below. I've got a 1/2-inch steel rod here that just fits nicely inside this handle. So this will work perfect for what I need. And I'll be able to just weld it here to the end. So I'm probably just going to do I'll probably just weld the inside to hold that pin on there. That'll be plenty strong. And then I'm going to cut it just a little bit longer than the handle here. And then I'll weld on a washer on the top to hold the top piece on so the handle doesn't just fly off. So I'm going to take this over to the bandsaw and cut it for length. Actually, one more thing. Before I bring it over to the bandsaw to cut it to length, it's always easier to handle as a longer piece, so I'm going to clean this up to make it easier to hold as a big piece rather than trying to just handle a small little piece on it. There, so that's good there. I'll just mark it back up again. We'll bring it over to the bandsaw and we'll cut it. And if you're wondering what kind of bandsaw I'm using, this bandsaw here is a Vevor portable bandsaw. I got this on Amazon. So far, it's been an awesome bandsaw. It's a portable bandsaw with a base, so it works really, really well. Nice square cuts. Haven't had any issues at all. Cuts nice and fast too, and I'm still on the original blade. So if you're looking for a portable bandsaw, this is great. It's variable speed and it has a light on there as well. And once you cut it, you can hold on to the metal right away. It's not even hot. So it's great. In case you're wondering, that was real time as well. That wasn't sped up at all. Okay, so we've got our pin. It fits right in there. We got a little bit of room on each side. So that's perfect. And what I'll do is I'm just going to weld it through the hole right here on this side. I was thinking about it just before welding it. And I think what I'm going to do first is weld the washer on the other side first. That way, once the washer is welded on, I could stand it up here with that handle on, and the heat, it'll be a little bit further away from this plastic handle here, so it doesn't melt the handle so much. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use a washer here that's about the same size as the top of the handle, just so it doesn't stick out too far and hit the sides of your hand as you're cranking it up. I don't need the washer to go over and around. I just need it to sit on top, and I'll just fill the hole up. One thing to keep in mind is if you're welding bolts or nuts or washers or metal that has zinc on it, a zinc coating, you want to grind it off as much as you can, because that stuff there will put off some nauseous fumes. So you want to be careful of that. I'm actually going to mark the center so I could line up my washer fairly center to the metal rod. There we go. And if you're wondering, if you've seen my other videos and you're wondering what kind of helmet I'm using, I got this this helmet. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but you guys can see the name. So I got this helmet on Amazon, and it works great. It's a bit dirty now, but it works great. It's got the settings on the outside for weld, grind, the delay, all the settings for sensitivity, and the shade as well. So it's great. It's an automatic helmet. And what I like about it is it has a really large viewing area, as opposed to my other welding helmet that I had before. It has a small viewing area, a small window, whereas this one here has a lot bigger window. It allows you to see a lot better while you're working. And you can use this as a grind setting on there as well. Cutting, grinding, and welding settings. So you could have the one helmet to do everything. I could have really used this one here earlier when I was cutting the metal instead of this old style clear one. But anyways, if you're interested in picking up one of these, I'll leave a link to this in the description below as well. All right, so let's get welding. All right, so we got the plug weld done on top of the handle pin. I'm gonna let that cool down a little bit. One of my next videos I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building a grinder rack to go up along this back wall. I don't know if you can see that in that shot, but go along the back wall to hold all my grinders nice and organized and neat. All right, so I got the pin here cool down. While it was cooling down, I painted it with some black paint just so I could have a coating of protection between the actual, like the bar or the pin or the handle and the plastic handle. So these will fit nice and they rotate nice. So the next thing is going to be to weld this together as a whole onto the other part of the handle. So I'm going to do is got a little bit of a spacer here. So I'm going to use one of my welding magnets in order to hold the handle on top of that pin where it goes. And to make sure that it's centered, I'm going to put a mark roughly centered. Doesn't have to be perfect, just needs to be close. I'll put a mark roughly center on that pin. That way I could center up the hole, so when I go to weld it, I know it'll be square. I don't want to add too much heat to this because I don't want to melt the plastic. So actually one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up my air compressor and get some air going. So I'll do a tack, I'll cool it down, do another tack, cool it down. So I'll just pause here while I get the air compressor filled up. All right, so we're in business. So I got the air compressor filled, ready to go. I'm just gonna fire up the welder and start putting tacks in here. Make sure my helmet's on weld and not grind. So like I said, I'll just put a tack, cool it down, put another tack, cool it down. I just don't want this to overheat. Should be good. If you're seeing me use this MIG gun stand here, it's something that I built in one of my projects. If you're curious to see how I made that, I've got a video up on my channel on how I made that that holder. It's real practical, handy, it works really well. All right, so we've got our handle on here. Get some light up. So you can see we've got a new handle on there. I think maybe I could have made that metal just a little bit shorter. To do it again, I would make this about 1/4 inch shorter, but I wanted it to be in such a way that if you, not if, but when you hold on to it, it's a bit warm, but when you hold on to it, you're not holding on to 2 or 3 fingers. You've got something to grip onto, and you can even lift the handle up as you're cranking it around. So there we go. I just got to paint up the rest of this handle, and then we'll be ready to install it. There is a spring inside that you need to compress to get this bolt in there. Spring loaded, so the bolt is in. And then we'll snug that up. I don't know if you can hear me very well. My microphone is dying, but we'll just take that. Snug this up. This handle still needs to be able to move up and down. There you go. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the rest of the bolt there that's sticking out. So that's how easy it is to repair the handle on a trailer jack and make it new again. So thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it, especially if you've made it this far. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of any of our upcoming videos. We'll see you on the next one.